Hi guys, it's Miss Matile here again. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm here again for another teaching. Today I want to discuss or to teach people on how to prepare for a relationship. Because most people, whenever they are going to relationships, they do not prepare themselves. They just jump into relationships just like that without preparing themselves. They don't take a dating serious. They don't think that dating, marriages, or relationship also just need a preparation like any other thing that you will do in life. Okay? So if you are just dating by accident, if you are just dating by jumping into relationship, then you don't know what you are doing, and you don't even have a plan to direct you. You clearly don't know what you are doing, and that is not right. And if you do it like that, chances are that it will cost you in future. So I feel like if people truly want to or want relationships to work, I feel like they need to take dating serious and start to prepare themselves whenever they are going to relationships. Okay. So, the first thing that I want people to do before go to relationship is that people need first to figure out who they want to date. They need to figure out who they want to date. Because you cannot just go. You cannot just go out of your house and you meet somebody, let's say in town, or maybe you cannot just date by accident. You need to have a plan. You need to figure out who you want to date. In terms of what? In terms of what? This includes things like, for example, you need to have a list to say the person that you want to date, they need to know God. They need to know God, because even the Bible instructed us not to date the non-believers. Why? Because God, He is the one who created you. He knows you very well. So if you are dating a non-believer and your marriage or your relationship let's say God is not the sender of your relationship, or God is not the sender of your marriage, then believe me or not, even if you start off like with a relationship that is going smoothly, believe me or not, at some point in life, that relationship will crumble. If it did not crumble, then one person in that relationship will be suffering, will be tortured, will be mistreated by the other person. You need to have a person in your life that you will worship God together, a person that will pull you closer to God. You do not, here you need to get serious. Do you seriously want, you also need to understand that if you are in a marriage and that marriage, you are not worshiping God, and that marriage is not, it's not putting God first, there's no use for you to get married. There's no use for you to be in that marriage, because you are still sinning. You are still sinning if your relationship or if your marriage is not it's not founded on God, then it's still a sinful marriage. A holy marriage, I told you from the other video to say, the purpose of God for marriage is holiness. The one major reason why people need to marry or why people need to be in relationships, it's because they want to be holy. It's because they don't want to remain in darkness. It's because they want, they just want to be holy. So if you understand now, Kosha, the purpose of God for marriage is holiness, and you are going to dating or to relationships or to marriage or to marriages, and your aim is not to find a godly person, then don't just do it, because it's pointless. Because that relationship, it's not having God at heart. It's not worth having. Just stop it right there. Don't do it. Okay, the second point of the things that you have to put in consideration whenever you are dating is that you need also to put into consideration the type of job your partner or your husband is doing. People tend to ignore this part. People tend to ignore the part of money. This thing, ignoring money, will cost you in future. If you are dating with the aim of later ending up in marriage, and in that marriage obviously you will want to have children, life is very expensive. And those children, they will need food, they will need to go to school, they will need to be taken care of. Now, if people overlook this money part, thinking with the money it's not important, but the truth is, money is important in every relationship or in every marriage. Your partner needs to bring in some income so that you will be able to live. these things of not having money, or not this thing of not having a partner that is not working, it was working in the past. But in this life now that we are living, you cannot have a partner that is not working. You cannot have a partner that is not bringing something to the table. Then you will suffer. The truth is, you will suffer. Your children will suffer. Avoid people that are not bringing anything to the table. Just avoid them at all costs. You don't want to suffer these things. Your children deserve to have a happy life. Your children deserve to eat healthy food and to enjoy life. So you need to consider also, what do they bring to the table before you date them. The third thing that you have to take into consideration also is that whether the person you are dating, they are healthy or not. What do I mean by that? People have genetic disorder in their family. People have history of diseases in their family. For example, let me give you a nice example. I know of a friend who who dated somebody with asthma, for example, and that asthma was, and they happened to make a baby, and that asthma was passed on to the baby, and that poor baby now have to suffer asthma from when she was a baby throughout growing up. Now she have to suffer the problem that you ignored when you were dating. You need to take these things serious. You need to take these things into consideration if you if you love your children. Because if you are ignoring all these things, then your children and you will suffer later in future. I want to emphasize, to put the emphasis on the point of God. You can never put your trust in a human being. People changes. You cannot trust them to say they will be just good throughout life. You can trust them. People changes. They are more likely to change if they don't fear God. People have emotions. If they don't fear God, they are more likely to change at any point in that relationship, if that makes sense. Okay. So, the next thing that I also want to teach people to take into consideration whenever they are going to relationships or marriages, they also need to prepare themselves on self-love. This is so important because people need to first understand, Kosha, what is a relationship. What is a relationship? The first relationship you need to have first before you go to relationship. It's a relationship with yourself. You first need to have a relationship with yourself before you get into relationship with other people. What do I mean by that? I want people to love themselves first before get into relationship with other people. This includes things like working on your personality, your confidence, your insecurities. You need to love yourself fully before you get in any relationship. Because if the thing is, if you don't love yourself, if you go to that relationship without confidence, if you go to that relationship with a lot of insecurities, the first thing people check whenever you get in a relationship, the first thing that they check is your confidence. They check how you value yourself. They check how you respect yourself. If you go to that relationship with low confidence, with insecurities, people will notice that. Then they will use that against you. Most people have better relationship with themselves. Just know the way you treat yourself is the way people will treat you also. If you don't value yourself, they won't value you. If you don't respect yourself, they won't respect you. If you don't believe you are worthy of love, they won't give you that. If you don't believe you deserve the best, they won't give you the best. So, it does not really matter the body shape you have or the way you look. You just need to love yourself and know your self-worth. Then people will also treat you with respect and also with love. But if you don't love yourself, people, they cannot give you what you cannot give yourself. So, what I want to say is that you need to have a relationship with yourself first before you go to relationships. Okay? That is the only... If you love yourself, you are also more likely to have good relationships. Okay. So, You need to work on the relationship that you have with yourself. You need to know deeply that you are beautiful. You deserve the best the world can offer. And if you know that, then you'll be less likely to make mistakes in relationships. Okay. The next thing that I also want to teach people is that most of the time, people go to relationships looking for identities. The thing is, you need to identify yourself first. That you need to identify yourself first before you go to relationship. You cannot look for your identity in relationships. You need to identify yourself first before you go to relationships. You need to know, what do I mean by that? You need to know who you are, what you deserve, what you are looking for. You do not need anybody to define these things for you. You need to know them yourself when you are coming to the relationship right away. Otherwise, if you don't know your identity, if you don't know who you are, if you enter in that relationship and you are told you are ugly, you are more likely to believe that because you don't know who you are. If you are told you are not good, you are more likely to believe that because you went there without knowing yourself. You went there without an identity. So it's very important that whenever you are going to a relationship, you already defined yourself. You already have your everything in place so that whatever you will be told, whatever you are not given in that relationship, you will already have it by yourself. You are only going to that relationship to do life together and to share life together. You are going there as a full, complete human being. You are not going there as a half, as some people claim to be. They claim to be that they are half when they are alone, of which is very wrong. Okay. The next point that I want to emphasize is that if you skip the self-love part, you won't have, believe me or not, you won't have good relationships. You are more likely to abuse people with your emotional needs because you will need them to give you what you can't give yourself. You are more likely to abuse people to complete you because you are going there telling yourself that you are not complete, you are half, and you need some things to be added to you, which is a lie, which is not right, which is not true. If you are one of those people that believes that they are half when they are alone, and they are looking for their other half, do not go to relationships. Because nobody will be able to complete you. Nobody will be able to complete you. Nobody will be able to give you what you can't give yourself. Nobody will be able to give you what you don't have. And that is not love. But that is not love. That is abusing of the other person. That's not a healthy relationship. If you want to be completed, if you want to be, if you are making other people to be responsible for your emotions, if you want other people to be responsible for your happiness, for what you should feel, for what you should not feel, that is toxic. It's not right. This is one reason why most people, they are lonely, even though while they are in relationships, because they are constantly looking for the other person to make them happy, because they are constantly looking for the other person to be responsible for all their emotional needs, because they are constantly looking for the other person to be responsible for their emotions. When they are not happy, it's because of the other person. When they are angry, it's because of the other person. They attach all their emotional need to the other person. That is not right. That is not a healthy way of being in a relationship or in a marriage. That is not right. Okay. So I want you to understand that nobody will give you what you don't have. When you don't love yourself, that means that anger, insecurity will be roaming in your spirit, and you can't have good relationship. It does not matter how many people you dump and move to the next person. For as long as you don't love yourself, you will never make any good relationship, let's say with anybody. At your workplace, you won't have good relationship. With your siblings, you don't have good relationship. With every person in the society, you won't have good relationships if you don't love yourself. Okay, that was it from me today. Just share my videos. Also like them so that it will give me energy to do more videos. Yeah, and also just subscribe. Okay, that was it from me today. Just have a good day and bye-bye.